So it is early Thanksgiving morning here in California. It is 12:42 a.m. and in Modesto, California, where I'm at. And right now I'm just gonna wait for a few people to jump in here. The rig says, "Yo, Jake, what's up?" Angus says, "Jake, what the fuck you doing up so late? You smoking weed?" Dude, it's only 12:40 a.m. and what I'm doing up is I'm going to debunk the popular AE map in real time. That's right. Do you guys know that right now, there's the sun is lighting up certain areas on the map, the AE map or whatever map you're using, the sun is lighting up a certain area right now. And if you look at what areas are in daylight right now and what areas are in darkness, it debunks the AE map as we speak. In fact, in this video, I'm going to show you guys that using an app on your phone, a simple weather app, as well as timeanddate.com, you can debunk the AE map during the months of November and December. Because right now in the Southern Hemisphere, there are things going on which debunk the map. And I'm not doing this to be divisive. I'm not doing this to attack anybody. I'm doing this to get the truth out so that we can finally get past this fatally flawed map and model and move on. So I'm going to show you guys in real time how to debunk this map at this time right now during this time of year. All you have to do is go to a weather app. And as you can see right now, in Modesto, it's nighttime. That's where I am. In New York City, it's nighttime, 3:45 a.m. In Alaska, it's nighttime, 11:45. And in Northeast Greenland, it's 5:44 a.m. and it's nighttime in Greenland. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I don't know if you guys can see this. So, Ushuaia, the southernmost city in Argentina, the sun just came up in Ushuaia and it's daylight. In Tasmania, it's 7:45 and it's daylight. And in Cape Town, it's 10:45 and it's daylight. So it's daylight in the southernmost cities and all of the Southern Hemisphere. So why does that debunk the AE map? Well, let me show you. And see, all you guys have to do is put these places in and it'll tell you whether it's dark or whether it's light. And if people are like, "Oh, well, you can't trust that." Well, it's dark here in California and you can't say, "Jake, you're a shill, you're lying." Like, it's dark. It's dark outside. Right? I mean, it is almost 1 a.m. So at 1 a.m. in the United States, it's always dark. You can't say I'm lying. That's why daylight hours are so hard to fake, because there's people who live in these places. You can't have it be daylight when it's not, or dark when it's not, and say that it is. It won't work. People won't accept it. So let's move on, and let me show you guys why the daylight in these three places at once debunks the AE map. So here's Tasmania, here's Cape Town, and here's Ushuaia. Now here's the portion of the Earth that's nighttime. How can it be light right now in Tasmania, light right now in Ushuaia, but not in the North Pole? How can it be light here, but be dark right here? Because it's dark here in the United States, in Alaska, the North Pole, Greenland, but Ushuaia, daylight, Tasmania, daylight, Cape Town, daylight. Let me go back and show you guys again. Modesto, 12:46 a.m., dark outside. That's where I live. New York City, 3:45 a.m., dark outside. Call someone in New York, ask them if it's dark. It's dark. Alaska, 11:45. This time of year, dark outside. Go ask somebody. It's dark. Greenland. I don't know if anyone knows anyone who lives in Greenland, but supposedly right now it's dark. All right, and it's early in the morning, 5:47 a.m. The sun hasn't come up in Greenland. All right, Cape Town, Africa, 10:47 daylight. Tasmania, 7:47, the sun hasn't went down yet. And Ushuaia, 5:47 a.m., the sun already came up. And you can even check, like Ushuaia shows that the sun already came up and it won't go back down. Look how much daylight it gets. The sun won't set until 9:35 over there. So look how, that's a shitload of daylight that they're getting. So, as you guys can see, all you have to do is use the weather app on your phone. Plug in Ushuaia, Tasmania, and Cape Town, and then between 12:30 a.m. Pacific time and 1 a.m. Pacific time, you can debunk the AE map at this time of year. And let me show you guys. We'll go to timeanddate.com right now. Watch this. All right. Go to right now. Oh, shit. Right now. Okay, perfect. Oh, let me zoom this in actually. Actually, screw it. That'll be, we'll just take the camera in. All right, can you guys see? Here's Tasmania in daylight, and here's Ushuaia in daylight, and here's Cape Town in broad daylight. So all of them are in daylight here on timeanddate.com. So timeanddate.com matches what the weather app is saying. All right, so as you guys can see, Tasmania in daylight right now, Cape Town in daylight right now, Ushuaia in daylight right now, right now. So what does that mean for those of you just tuning in? Let me show you what that means. That means this. It's light in Tasmania, it's light in Ushuaia, and it's light in Cape Town. How can it be light in these two places but dark in the North Pole? Interesting dilemma. Now, people are still saying Jake's doing this to be divisive. Jake's doing this because he's a shill. Jake is doing this because it's the truth. And that's what I've been about since I got started, is the truth. And I found that there are people in the flat earth movement who've been lying. And I know they're lying because people have been bringing up these issues for years. I'm not the first guy to point this out. So those of you who are new to flat earth, only 3, 4 months, 6 months, and you think I'm doing this to be a shill or to be mean or to attack anybody. No, for 2 years, people have been pointing out this problem. Do you guys know a well-armed globehead can point this out? A well-armed globehead can go to the weather app. It's literally an app on my phone, right? That you guys have to. Anyone with an iPhone or any phone can pull up these locations and see if it's nighttime or not. So if in Cape Town, it's daytime, right? Tasmania, sun's still up, and it won't go down until 8:22. And right now, it's in Tasmania, it's shit. Let me go back. So in Tasmania, it's 7:50. So it's still 30 more minutes before the sun goes down. So they see the sun here, Cape Town, and Ushuaia. That's not possible, and for the North Pole to be dark on the AE map. You guys see the problem here? You can't light up these two areas and then have the North Pole in darkness. So this is a debunk for the AE map. And when here's the problem that Eric Dubay, Jeranism, Mark Sargent, and Matt Powerland are going to have, is because I'm going to take a picture of this right here. And then I'm going to take all those things I've shown you guys and stick them in a meme together. I'm going to take that image, and I'm going to take that image, and I'm also going to take that image right there, and I'm going to stick them all together. And that's going to be a debunk. The end for the flat Earth map, the popular map. It's time we move on because it's wrong. So those of you who thought I was doing this because I'm a shill or an agent, do your own research. It's wrong. The map is wrong in more ways than I just showed you, in more ways that I already have shown you in my previous videos. Do you guys know there's been people who've been calling this out for years and they just get labeled as shills and written off? Now, there are people that push square maps and diamond maps and concave Earth and all these different things. Now, let's say they might be wrong about what they push. That doesn't mean that they can't debunk the AE map. Even someone who believes in the globe, which is definitely bullshit, right? The globe is bullshit. If they know this, they can debunk the AE map. So what I'm trying to get at here is you can believe in the globe. You can believe that the sun does a Pac-Man. You can believe that the Earth is a diamond shape or concave or hollow. If you know how to debunk the AE map, you know how to debunk the AE map. So if somebody was to go debate somebody with a square map and say, oh, well, here's what's wrong with the square map and here's why the sun can't reappear at the other side, that doesn't mean that that person can't debunk the AE map. So for instance, I was watching a channel called Flat Earth Conspiracy just the other day, and I'll even give them a shout out. So let me throw them on real quick and I'll show you guys. I'm not going to play their video, but I'll give them a shout out. And all right, and they just did a special about debunking the AE map for hours. They did, here's a 3-hour video. We're not going to put it on or watch the whole thing, but basically, if you want to see some other people besides me debunking these videos in extreme detail, you can. This is a channel called Flat Earth Conspiracy. Lori Frary runs this channel, and her and Lawrence, I believe, is her friend. They believe in a diamond thing where the sun does a Pac-Man. Now, just because they believe that, and maybe I don't necessarily agree with everything they're saying, that doesn't mean they aren't sufficient at debunking the AE map. So they can sit here for 2-3 hours and debunk the AE map, and then they might say that the sun is going in a Pac-Man style, which let's say you turn around and debunk them. That doesn't mean that their debunking is insufficient. So what I'm getting at is, even if you prove somebody else's model wrong, you can't turn around and say, let's keep the Frisbee. It's not, I debunked the square, so let's keep the Frisbee. I debunked the globe, so let's keep the Frisbee. You can't say because something else is wrong that this thing is right. You get what I'm saying? So that's what my point I want to get across is there's been flat earthers literally for 2 to 3 years who have been debunking this map, and they get ostracized right and left and called a shill. And it's getting to the point where somebody like me had to step up with a loud enough voice and say, you guys, this shit is wrong. We have to get rid of it and we have to move on. And these guys who pushed this AE map and model continuously and still push it have been overlooking these issues on purpose for years. For years. Do you guys know how many Australians and people from the Southern Hemisphere that have contacted me and told me they went and looked where the sun rose and where the sun set, and that I was right, and that they always knew something was wrong with that map and with the circle sun? So a shitload of people in Australia have verified exactly what I've been saying. There's a reason why Eric Dubé, with his 100,000 subscribers, didn't ask people in Australia to send him videos of the sunset and sunrise. Do you know why? It's because I was right. It sets in the south of west, the wrong direction, okay? So as the supposed circling sun. This was verified over and over by everyone who lives down there, okay? And it matches what's on the scientific websites. So what we need to do is get back to doing research, actually doing research and actually asking people who live in these cities, you know, who aren't flat earthers, what's the sun doing? You know, ask different people who aren't connected to flat earth what's going on, and they'll tell you, and there won't be this big mystery. They won't be trying to trick you. You can contact people who live in these cities and ask, how much, you know, is the sun out right now? And they'll tell you. Just like if you ask me right now, Jake in Modesto, is it really nighttime? Yes, it's always nighttime in the United States at 1 a.m. The sun has never been out here at 1 a.m. So it's kind of getting to the point where flat earthers, when they're confronted with something that doesn't match that AE map, they start saying, it doesn't exist. It's not real. So it would be like telling me that it's not nighttime in California and that I'm lying. That's what's happening to people in the Southern Hemisphere who come out and say, whoa, this is wrong. So I just want to get this across to you guys that I didn't do this to hurt anyone's feelings or to cause division, divide and conquer. I did it because it's fucking wrong, and it's provably wrong, right? Tasmania is lit up. Ushuaia's lit up. Cape Town's lit up. But the North Pole is night. How can you light up these two places but have nighttime right here? All like 24-hour nighttime basically right here while this is lit up. And these cities like Ushuaia apparently get like 17 to 18 hours of sunlight during December. So to make that happen, you'd have to have this sort of weird shape to where this light area, when it goes around, will light up Ushuaia about 17 to 18 hours. Because if you cut it in half, and this represents 12 hours as a half pi, to get this 17 to 18 hours of sunlight that they receive, you'd have to have like a tail like this in order for them, as this goes around, whoop, to get their correct amount of sunlight. It's not rocket science, you guys. This is basic stuff. If I just used a phone app and debunked it, you don't think people who believe in a globe can do the same thing? They already have been. That's the problem. People who believe in a globe already have been debunking this, and it's time we move on. The people who've been clinging to this for years are lying to you. There's no other way about it. I'm not some really smart stoner who came out and figured this out, you guys. I'm just an average man, okay? And I'm not debunking the flat earth. Like, water, as far as I'm concerned, hasn't been measured with curvature and verified that, yeah, like we measured the water, you know, the distance from here to there over water, and yes, here's the definite amount of curvature that exists. We're yet to see a verifiable measurement of curvature, right, upon the earth or upon water. So I can still say the earth is flat and motionless, but I can't stand behind something that's broken. And I think it's imperative that we move on. It's broken. And anybody who's still saying, Jake's a shill, he's an agent, and he's doing this to cause division, you're ignoring proven evidence. Literally ignoring proof in your face. Do you guys realize I'm going to make another video? It's going to be called The End of the Fake Flat Earth Part 2. And it's going to be nothing but evidence. I'm just going to stuff evidence that this is wrong. The AE map and Gleason's map and model's all wrong with the circle sun. I'm going to stuff it full of evidence. I'm going to reconfirm what I've already showed you guys about the sunset angles, because people tried to weasel their way out of it. Like Mr. Dubé didn't even make a response video to me at all. He just left a little paragraph underneath one of his own videos that didn't respond to me. And he just left a little tiny response. And I'm going to debunk systematically everything he said, because he's trying to say people in Australia and Tasmania whose footage I used were lying, or that they weren't using their compasses correctly. Well, I can get 100 people in the Southern Hemisphere to reproduce the same results. And I challenge Mr. Dubé, and I challenge Jaron, and I challenge Mark Sargent, and I challenge anybody to ask their subs who live in the Southern Hemisphere to put a compass on the sunrise and the sunset and have them do it for 2-3 days in a row. I've got some of the same guys who I've already used. They've got more videos that they've posted of them taking the readings, and it's getting farther and farther south of west, the sun, when it sets. Right now in December, the debunking of the AE map is happening right now. All you have to do is study. Just study what I've been showing you in this video. Look into the distances on this map along the lines of latitude. Look into sunset angles and sunrise angles, and look into the amount of daylight hours, and you're going to see that this thing fails. It's not right. I'm trying to be as nice as I can. And the men who sold this model to us and are still pushing it, they're doing it for their own profit margins and because they're controlled. So it's either they don't want to give up their profit margins and they don't want to admit they're wrong and they're just being asshole thick-headed morons about it, I don't know, or they're pushing an agenda and they're just straight lying, because this has been brought up before I ever said anything. This has been brought up for years. So if somebody else is to come along and, and pushing a square map, you might be able to debunk their square map, but they can still debunk this one. So what are you left with then? You got to find something else that works. We can't keep doing this, you guys. We can't do the, oh, look, the water stays in here, and here's the ice wall, you guys. And then the continents are in here, and the sun goes like this. Yeah. You debunk your own self when you start doing that. You debunk yourself, because the sunrise and sunsets won't match when you do this. The hours, the daylight hours and night hours won't match when you do this. It looks nice. It looks good. Water inside the Frisbee looks good. But it doesn't match reality. It doesn't match reality. And there's been people I had to let go who are no longer my friends anymore. And maybe I can forgive them when the time is right. But there are people who've burned me. There are people who turned their back on me. There are people who said, Jake, I used to like you, but I don't anymore. And all this sort of shit. Jake, you changed. You guys, at what point is it the hand of God helping me deliver you the truth through of the land of bullshit? That I'm being guided by the light of truth to hand it to you guys through tons of bullshit, and I have to eat bullshit now from flat earthers and globe earthers at the same time, just so I can tell you guys this doesn't work, that we shouldn't use it anymore. The reason I'm doing this is because I don't think introducing a lie in place of another lie, the globe, and calling it progress is something that's healthy or sane. You can't replace a lie with another lie and say, yeah, that's progress. We can get globers to jump off the globe and onto this thing. Well, then the problem is, then you have to tell them this is wrong. And then they have another meltdown, right? There are still people who will not listen, who are like, ah, la, 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 no, 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 it's not wrong. It's not wrong. Ah, la, la, la. It's wrong. You can shove your head in the sand all you want to. It's wrong. And I challenge Mr. Dubé, Jeranism, Mark Sargent, Matt Powerland, to rectify these problems. And there's still people who are going to cling, no, I want my Frisbee and my little thing. Jake's a shill. Jake's just pointing out the flaws. It's fatally flawed. Any flat earther who goes on TV with this is going to lose. Anybody who goes on any mainstream outlet and says, yeah, the sun goes around like this, and here's the water inside the Frisbee, you guys, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. And millions of people have seen us lose, have seen us get punched in the eye with this, and they say, no thanks, I'm not going to look into that. This is the fatal flaw. And the reason I'm so dead set against this, the reason why it bothers me so much, is because the people pushing this are as big of an enemy as the people who push the globe on you. They infiltrated you and your trust. They infiltrated my trust. I'm just willing to admit it. I'm willing to admit that I used to be enamored by Eric Dubé and Matt Powerland, and now I think they're full of shit. I even wonder if Eric Dubé is even alive anymore. I haven't seen him on camera in months and months. Have you guys even seen him show up on camera? How do you know the guy typing you those messages on social media and on YouTube, or even him? How do you know that the yoga studio in Thailand even exists? This guy might not even be like really alive anymore. It might just be recordings of him. I'm like, hey, I'd like to see Eric Dubé show up on camera and debate me and just say my name in real time, show like today's newspaper, because I think he might be dead, y'all. Like, I can't say for sure. Where is that dude? He has not showed up on camera in a long time. He's just like a recording now. And these guys have been protecting this lie for years now, and it's time they either fess up to it or we ditch them and leave them behind. We can't keep going along with something that is fatally flawed. I've already seen it be destroyed by globe earthers, and I've seen it be destroyed by flat earthers. What more do you guys want? You want the concave earther? Oh wait, the concave earther. Yeah, even Lord Stephen Christ knows that this is bullshit. You can prove Lord Stephen Christ is full of shit, but he can prove this is bullshit. That's a problem when Lord Stephen Christ can come along and prove your model's bullshit. This is why it matters to me. This is why I do this. So, how long can you guys go on standing behind something that's flawed and makes us look stupid and loses every time? When it matters, this will lose every time. It'd be like sending in like a high school football team to go play like a top college squad. It'd be like sending in a college team to play a pro team. And won't be pretty. We might make fun of Neil deGrasse and Bill Nye, but they'll be armed and ready to take this apart when it all matters. If Jared wants to go on TV, you guys, or Mark Sargent, let's say, go on TV, like in prime time and debate with this, they'd go down in flames, y'all. It's bad news. I don't have a replacement. And I purposely have taken that I don't have a replacement because I can't be attacked for not having a replacement. I'll just admit I don't have a replacement. That doesn't mean I can't prove it's wrong. So I'm going to make another video. I'm not going to let this go. I've already seen the tide turn. I've seen many flat earthers following suit and jumping off this shit. I've had a huge effect. They tried to paint me out as the bad guy. It didn't work. I lost like 200 subs, and then I gained like 500. They didn't stop me. And then they tried to paint me out as racist. Didn't work. I called it out before they did it. So that didn't work. So then they tried to like have a series of debates like square map versus AE map to get people to make sure that they're still comfortable with this one. All that did is create more tension and get people to look into the flaws of the AE map. So I'm seeing people jump off that shit. By this time next year, half of the flat earthers or more might be bailed off of this. So are you going to be the one left holding the frisbee with the water and the flashlight? You're going to be the one holding that hot potato? I won't. I'm not holding it. You won't see me go on camera and get my ass handed to me with that. Hell no. So I say this to you guys as a man of truth. I shall not stand behind a symbol of deception. That's the same as standing behind a globe. The globe is fatally flawed. The EMAP Gleason's model is fatally flawed. Ditch it. Get rid of it. Denounce it. Boycott it. And I want to send a special message to ODD Reality. Bro, you'd be the game changer. You denounce this map because it is wrong and it is the truth that it's wrong. You look into it and denounce this, you'll turn the tide immediately. I've already kicked down the door here, and I actually owe it to some pioneers like Lori Freary and Darren Nesbitt and a bunch of people in the Southern Hemisphere who've been running their mouth about how this thing's wrong. So they are pioneers in a way for proving beyond the shadow of a doubt that this is wrong, way before I said anything. I'm just the guy with a loud enough voice to make it matter. So now I'm going to ask ODD to look into all the reasons why this fails. Admit that it fails like I did, bro. You don't have to take a stance or say any other map is right. You don't have to say that the sun does anything else. Just figure out that this is wrong and admit it. And the tide will turn. Dubé goes down in flames. Mark goes down in flames. Jaron goes down in flames. And Matt goes down in flames. Everyone else holding the frisbee with the water goes down in flames. Or they have to admit it's wrong themselves. I'm going to make another video. I can put 100 people in there showing where the sun's setting and where the sun's rising. Just to let you know. I can talk about how the distances along the lines of latitude are completely wrong. And I'll do that, and I'll demonstrate it. I'll talk about why the sunlight hours don't match up, and I'll show this clip. I'll cut down what I just did here in this live stream, how I debunked it in real time. I'll throw that in the video. I'm going to take it apart, and I might even team up with some other people who are hell-bent on getting the truth out there. So basically, I'm going to have, I don't know, maybe 20 to 30 flat earthers helping me. And I won't even use any globe earthers, so you guys can't say that I'm trying to get anyone on the globe or anything. I'll just use only flat earthers. It's time we let it go. It's time we move on. The truth is what matters most. And those of you who've stuck with me, I appreciate you. And those of you who turned on me, and those of you who I unfriended from Facebook, and you don't know why, it's because I saw you talking shit about me. And I saw you agreeing with other people talking shit about me. I saw a lot of you guys, hundreds of people. Some of them hurt me bad, like people I thought were my friends. I'd see them agreeing. I'd see them agreeing with people who were talking shit, just making up rumors. And they're hitting the thumbs up button and agreeing. Because I'm doing what's right, and they don't get it. So yeah, I unfriended a bunch of people, hundreds of people, and I don't regret it at all. A lot of you guys, I don't regret it at all. And in fact, I think you owe me an apology. And when you're ready to come back and apologize and say, yeah, you were right, Jake, about the things you said, and sorry for talking shit about you, then maybe I'll accept you back as my friend. But a lot of you guys turned on me. The fucking real guy. The real guy who infiltrated this movement. Yeah, that's what I said. The real guy who infiltrated the top of the movement that's full of fakes and frauds. The real guy who infiltrated the movement. Take the clip and reuse it over and over. That's all you want? That's right. I infiltrated the fake fraud movement. The top, the tippy fucking top, I infiltrated it. The real guy, the truth, to where they can't ignore it and they can't write me off. The truth wins. The truth will always win. ODD, jump on board with the truth, bro. Change the whole game. All these fake-ass fraud flat earthers will go down in flames. Stick your head in the sand and keep ignoring these problems. Go measure the distances on this map along the lines of latitude. Look at Australia. Look at the size of Australia. Look at the shapes of these continents and where they're placed. I'm not going to let this go. So, it's up to you guys. You can be part of the real revolution, proving that the earth is flat and trying to figure out what the sun is actually doing, because I'd like to do some experiments with some people I can trust where we can figure out what the sun is doing. But I'm afraid of getting co-opted or controlled somehow because I can't trust anybody anymore. And so I have to have a very, very tight-knit group who I can trust spread out across the world, who I can have conduct experiments. Something even as simple as just watching the sun and keeping an eye on the sun from sunset or from sunrise to sunset with people I can trust, and filming certain times of the day when the sun rises and sunsets, and then we can hand it off to the next person until it makes a full cycle. I'm not the most scientific guy to do this. I really need help, and I need help from people I can trust, and I can't trust anybody with a top channel in the flat earth. I can't. Those people are crooked. And so I'm going to be reaching out more to smaller people, smaller channels, unknown people, to help me figure out what's really going on, because that's what the end game is to me, is figuring out the truth. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this debunking of the AE map in real time. You can do this again tomorrow. What I just showed you guys, you can do what I did tomorrow night. At this time of year, during November and December, the sun going in a circle in the southern hemisphere doesn't work. It's provably wrong. And so you can prove it wrong where the sun rises and sets. You can prove it wrong with the number of daylight hours. And you can also just straight prove the map wrong at any time of year by looking at the distances along the lines of latitude and anywhere on the map besides the lines of longitude. That's the only thing that's fairly correct on that map. So I'm going to outline all the problems I mentioned and so much more when I make part 2. And it's going to shake the flat earth up again. And what are they going to do next time? What are they going to want to label me as next time? They're going to double down on Jake's a racist? What are they going to do? I don't have a criminal record. I've never dressed up like a lady. What can they do? See, they have a hard time painting me out as the bad guy while I'm telling the truth and I don't have anything on me. Yeah, it's a good position to be in. The real guy telling the truth. I wish there were more people like me in this movement. I would gravitate to those people. No pun intended. If there were more people like me in this movement, I think that's what I'm going to seek out. Real players. So it's time to quit with the excuses, y'all. Truth is the truth. Don't fake disinformation. And when you do, it will force those who've been peddling it to admit they're wrong or go down in flames. And that's what we need to do, is clean up our house from the inside out. Because if we keep going on TV with this, we're going to be looking stupid. We're going to lose every time. And there's no secret that Mark and Patty are getting ready to do some sort of mainstream documentary or TV show. It wouldn't surprise me if they showed up on like Netflix, maybe with like a 5 or 6 episode series to make us all look like fucking clowns. And anyone like, that'll be good attention for us. No, it won't. It'll be shit attention for us. And there's no secret that something mainstream is coming soon, and they're going to make us look like fools, and it's going to be centered around this garbage. So it's time to disassociate yourself from the garbage. This has been the Flat Earth Asshole. I'm sorry if anything of what I said offended you. If you'd like to take your subscription elsewhere because of my truth offending you, have at it. But I'm not going to stop. And you can label me divisive or a divider and a conqueror or whatever you want. But on this channel, we try to push the truth as best as we can, no matter whose feeling it hurts. Okay? So this has been the Flat Earth Asshole, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Peace.